Hi, and welcome to manapool.co.uk's review of Plain Sight. In Plain Sight, you play a tiny little ninja robot in space, killing other tiny little space ninja robots. The main goal of the game is to gain more energy than anybody else, but in order to do so, you have to blow yourself up. Every time you successfully kill another player with your trusty katana, you steal the juicy energy that's stored inside them. Every time you gain more energy, your tail light changes colour, and the more energy you collect, the warmer this colour becomes. Your ninja robot will also grow in size when you gain energy, which increases your speed and your power, but it will also cause all the players to come after you instead, because then killing you will give them all of the energy you've gathered so far. Collecting this energy is only part of the game though, because in order to actually keep all the points you've collected, you have to self-destruct. After you detonate, all the points you've obtained so far will be banked, and only then will they count towards the scoreboard. After you've detonated, you can respawn again with a single energy point, ready to start the whole cycle of life over. Of course, there are a few twists to this whole concept. First of all, if you successfully kill multiple opponents in succession without dying, you'll gain a score multiplier. On top of that, when you self-destruct, if any opponents are caught in your explosion, you'll gain an additional multiplier. Once you've collected a good amount of energy and a sweet multiplier, but somebody kills you before you manage to detonate, they'll steal all of your points, but they won't steal your multiplier. If the thief doesn't self-destruct in the meantime, you do have a decent chance of regaining your lost points if you manage to kill them again after you respawn. Killing 2 or 3 opponents at a time and then detonating can be even more profitable than stealing a massive amount of energy in one go from someone, when you take the multipliers into account. As well as earning you a rank on the scoreboard, points also count as experience points, which can then be used to upgrade your ninja robot. Every time you die or self-destruct, you're given the option to either respawn or upgrade. There are 3 groups of upgrade, or perks as they're known. Green perks enhance your robot's movement, while red and blue respectively increase your offensive and defensive abilities. Each group has 3 different perks which you can upgrade, and each of those have 3 levels of effectiveness. All level 1 perks cost 5 experience points, level 2 costs 10, and level 3 costs 20. As well as these perks, there are also so-called mega perks, which require all perks in the respective group to be purchased before they become available. They cost 30 XP each and will give you an incredible offensive, defensive or mobile enhancement. There's absolutely no downside to obtaining all perks, but this is quite hard to do unless you're a lot better than your opponents. If you do want to try this, you should be aware that you do lose your perks after every round. Plain Sight also offers something called persistent perks, however. While playing, you might sometimes notice falling stars on the playing field. Collecting these stars will grant you 1 energy point, but it will additionally grant you 1 star, which you can use to buy persistent perks. There are 9 different persistent perks, and you can choose up to 3 different perks before you start the game. These persistent perks grant you new abilities which each have a cooldown. These range from creating safety zones to creating black holes, and they can have game-changing effects if they're used properly. The abilities and persistent perks you choose depends entirely on your playstyle, and each game mode might call for a different setup. Plain Sight offers 5 different modes, including the well-known concepts of free-for-all deathmatch, team deathmatch and capture the flag. Another game mode is Lighten Up, in which your goal is not solely collecting energy, but actually making the biggest explosion on a specific area of the map. This area lights up for a set amount of time while you steal as much energy as you can. After the timer expires, the player who managed to make the largest explosion will gain a point on the scoreboard, and the player with the most points will of course win the game. The final game mode is a many versus 1 game mode, where one player takes on the role of Botzilla. The other players play stealthy ninjas who have a special stealth upgrade. This stealth upgrade removes the tail lights from the ninjas, so they can move around more sneakily in order to bring Botzilla down to size. They also have high movement perks, and a super shield which grants 1 energy every time they successfully block Botzilla's attack. This extra energy allows him to self-destruct, which can assist in killing Botzilla. Botzilla has some pretty nice upgrades himself though. He has a large flaming katana, which causes him to instantly lock onto the little ninjas. There's no charge time for his dash attack. Additionally, Botzilla has multiple lives equal to twice the amount of players in the game. Players can only score points while being Botzilla, and they need to bank these points by self-destructing before they run out of all their lives. Plainsight is an extremely casual game which you can drop in and out of any time you like without any problems. It's a type of game you can launch for a 15-minute break from the more serious things in life, while you enjoy some colourful, gravity-defying ninja madness. The graphics are quite cartoon-like, but in a good way. In fact, the game doesn't look bad at all. It's not actually meant to look realistic. The gameplay's decent, and the online multiplayer mode will keep you happy for hours. The 5 game modes can suit your mood, but other than this, there's not that much that the game has to offer. It's not built around a story, which does seriously add to the casual feel of the game, but doesn't really do much good for its replay value. There are a few things which bothered me when playing Plainsight. One of them was the disorientated feeling you sometimes get when things start going a little bit too fast for you. Since all the objects in space have their own gravitational pull, it's sometimes quite hard to keep track of where you're going when you get flung around into orbit. You do need good hand-eye coordination skills if you want to remain cool in a situation like this. I found that zooming out some more does reduce the confusion, as you get a better overview of where you're going. Unfortunately, it also reduces the immersion, because the sound effects also die down when the camera backs off. Another thing I found quite annoying is that you lose all of your collected stars for persistent perks if you decide to change your screen name on the developer's website, so make sure you choose your nickname wisely. So what's the verdict? Well, for a mere $10 or £8, Plainsight is a very enjoyable in and out game, and you literally do get the bang for your buck. Once you get used to the gameplay, you'll be hooked. Thank you for watching. For more PC game reviews, visit manapool.co.uk.